And we are live. Welcome for another edition of Not Mainstream, January 19th, 2018. One heck of a week. Possible government shutdown, fake news awards, Twitter looking at dick pics. What else is going to happen? But let's get down to the fake news. Let's present the fake news awards because this is highly anticipated. I mean, it was supposed to happen either last week or 2 weeks ago, but they preempted to
I think
this
it
week.
was supposed to happen. I think it was supposed to happen on Monday the 8th, Monday, January 8th. But
but then they changed it. Trump changed it to this past Wednesday.
Yes.
And it wasn't
he did.
what we expected it to be. It wasn't no Oscar-style, Grammy, Golden Globe-style award show. It was more of a blog post. And as soon as Trump tweeted that tweet out, it was on the GOP website. The GOP website crashed because people...
Yes, it did.
They wanted to know what the heck is going on.
Well, now you gave me the link to that site, and I was able to get on it. I guess it had crashed beforehand.
Yeah, it must, because I think Trump tweeted it out right around the time we was doing the XCast. So they must have fixed it right after.
They probably did. So, but I mean, it's a tremendous list. And by the way, CNN won quite a few of the awards.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I would say that they won most of the awards. So
they took them home. They took them home.
Alert. That's just a little spoiler. Oops, did I say spoiler alert too late? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they took them home. That's what they call it when you take home the most Oscars.
Or Emmys or whatever, yeah.
But I actually like this, and I hope they should do this every month. Every freaking month.
That'd be cool.
Don't even do maybe do the awards show at a Trump rally. Have him read off the list. But do a blog post every single month.
There's Lale
showcasing how much showcasing how many lie after lie after lie the mainstream media is doing. Take a look at the fake news awards list, and
oh yeah,
here are their losers or winners, I guess, of the fake news awards. Come and get your fakie. That's what they need to call the award, the fakie. All right, so the very first one, this award goes to the New York Times' Paul Krugman, claimed on the day of President Trump's historic landslide victory that the economy would never recover. Paul Krugman says markets will never recover from Trump. Dow hits record high at 26,000. It just hit 26,000, I think, this past week. So the markets is supposed to crash. Didn't happen. Just like Hillary was supposed to win the election. Didn't happen. Fake news. Fake news all the way around. Number two.
I just realized before we go on, tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the inauguration. Is there? Are these morons going to take to the streets again, Guy?
I hope so. I hope so. They're going to scream. We're going to be screaming for the majority. That's what we're going to be doing. There's supposed to be a protest march again. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Too bad the cold air didn't come in tomorrow on Trump's anniversary because nobody will show up because it's going to be too damn cold.
That's what I was going to say, Shane. But, so what? So what?
Colsters. No, the Colsters comment.
Unless they get 75 million people, what the heck are they going to do or prove?
Nothing.
And there's going to be 175 there, and 38 of them will get arrested. And the rest of them will bitch about it, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, it's just going to be like that women's march. It's going to be one time only and dead, and absolutely dead.
Yeah.
But if anything major happens, we'll give you some coverage of it. All right, so let's go to the next award, and this next award goes to ABC News' Brian Ross. Chokes and sends markets into a downward spiral with false report. So basically what happened was, I think a month ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, Brian Ross came out with the report that Trump actually colluded with the Russians. That report turned out to be fake.
That was early last month when that happened, because remember Joy Behar.
Yeah.
The note, she says, yes!
Mm-hmm. So after that fake report, the stock market crashed and didn't really want to recover, but it slowly came back. It slowly recovered.
That bad. It just went down.
Yeah.
Can't really read with those glasses. I can read stuff up close, but that's the screen. I guess a little different with a computer screen. If I have to find a good pair of computer glasses or something.
Yeah, you should be able to find some good computer glasses somewhere.
Okay, Shane. This is not MainStream Live, right?
Yep. Anybody can watch this right now. We are live.
I'm trying to send it to somebody.
Okay.
All right, let's continue on.
Y'all go ahead.
All right, let's continue on, and we got the first reward going to CNN. The first award going to CNN. At number 3, CNN falsely reported that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald Trump Jr. had access to hacked documents from WikiLeaks. CNN botches dates, inaccurately reports Trump campaign had WikiLeaks sneak peek. And basically what happened was that the CNN reported that Trump Jr. had the WikiLeaks report before it was released. However, if you looked at the timestamp, it was like the day after WikiLeaks had already released it. So again, fake news.
And I remember that little cuck boy, Chris Cuomo, and saying it's illegal for citizens to have these documents, but we can have them because we're tell you what's in them.
I love that. I love that from him. It was funny. It's like, it's illegal for you guys to have access and see these documents, but it's different for the mainstream media. We tell you what we see and what we report on. We tell you. You can't go and see this on your own. We have to tell you.
Exactly.
That's basically all what he said.
I'm thinking, you think we're going to believe you?
Yeah. All right, and then let's go on to the other reward. This award goes to Time for falsely reporting that President Trump removed a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the office.
Yeah.
That was, again, fake news. This actually happened early on in the administration. And what happened was that some guy was standing in front of it. Some dude was standing in front of the freaking bust. And again, lie after lie after lie, these people.
Mm-hmm.
I could just... I'm not the greatest person that ever lived by any means. I try to be decent.
Mm-hmm.
I love God. I couldn't carry on such scams, schemes, shenanigans. I couldn't say, hey, Lou, go over there and stand in front of that statue and take a picture and then post Trump took MLK out of the White House. I just can't. I couldn't steal a piece of bubble gum.
Yeah. It's amazing.
How do these people do this?
They have no conscience.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Blatantly lie. I mean, I just can't. If that shirt is ugly to me and you say, how do you like my shirt? I might say, well, it's okay. You know, to be nice, but I don't blatantly lie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's just beyond me how these people do this for years and years and 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nothing new.
Well, as Shane said, I mean, once again, it goes to having no conscience and just wanting to make people believe bullshit. I mean, basically, that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're trying.
And
trying to make
that they are told what to do. They are told, "Hey, you report on this whether you like it or not," and they have no other choice.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. In fact, I have an example of that. My local Eastern North Carolina News.
Mm-hmm.
Back when, and the subject was, I can't remember it all completely, but it was our Senator Tom Tillis, I think, that was the subject of the controversy. And it was a big headline. Tom Tillis says employees shouldn't have to wash their hands when leaving the restroom. And what he said was, no one should have to be told to wash your hands when you leave the restroom. You should just know.
Yeah.
Anybody decent knows that you do that, And I sent a message to my WITN local station and said, how in the heck could you all report that? It's obvious what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
How could you turn it, spin it, and make it? How could you do that? And I was amazed. They wrote me back and they said, we are owned by NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And we, do a certain point, have to, other than our local news and weather, we have to report what NBC tells us to report.
Yep.
And it was just taken completely out of context and blown up.
Yeah, that's a class A example of how they take words out of context to spin it, to make it try to seem like they say something they didn't mean or say in that particular manner. They've been doing that for ages. Ages. It's nothing new.
Oh, well, yes, it's always been done. But that's just that was in the last year and a half. I don't know that happened. And they basically said, we are sorry if you were offended by it, but we are owned by NBC. We have to report what they tell us to report.
Yep. I think it's going to get to the point where local news stations is going to start becoming the way of like CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, all of that. I think it's going to be coming to the point it's going to be like that, including local papers as well as newspapers and magazines or anything like that. I think that's going to be coming to that point.
I think so too.
I hate for that to happen.
What I am seeing with my local news is that they appear to be almost they will run the NBC. In other words, they'll when they have national news on there, it's usually from NBC. Like when the local news talks about the national news, they run a segment from NBC, which is nothing
NBC
but crap.
News, ABC News. Yeah, they run those segments. Which is, I think it's going to.
CNN at what they were using CNN for the national news, though.
God, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, let's continue on with the.
And our news anchor seems to have these disapproving smirks on her face every time after they run the. I don't know if she's disapproving of President Trump or if she's disapproving of the. I don't know what but she seems to have this smirk on her face.
Of what she's told to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay, go ahead, Shane.
All right, let's continue on. This next award goes to Washington Post for the president's massive sold-out rally in Pensacola, Florida, was empty. A picture of an empty arena hours before the crowd started pouring in. Yeah, so this happened during the rally in Florida a few months ago. Actually, last month, back in December, he held a rally for Roy Moore, and the Washington Post, always have to snap a picture of the crowd before everybody gets in. Just show, Trump's losing his base. Oh, Trump's losing his support. Look at this half-empty arena. And then President Trump posted photos of the arena after he was in there, and it was full, completely full. Again, fake news. I mean, again, truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, we've heard about Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that and making everybody sit in the front and then not showing all the empty seats.
Yeah.
And all of that too.
Well, that's certainly that's just her. That's just her. That was her, covering up the fact that she wasn't as popular as as then candidate Trump.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Clintons, did anybody see this photo? They had a comparison photo with President Trump and former President Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Both of them are 71 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill Clinton
looks horrible.
Looks like shit. He does.
Yeah, he looks terrible.
Well, all that sex will wear you out after a while.
Especially if if those women have STD or AIDS or HIV or anything like that, that's going to take a toll on you as well.
And of course, later on we'll talk about the president's physical as well. That was from earlier this week, also.
Yeah, we will. All right, and then this another award goes to again CNN. This makes the second one. CNN falsely edited a video to make appear President Trump defiantly overfed the fish at a visit with the Japanese Prime Minister. Japanese Prime Minister actually led the way of the feeding. So this again,
the koi fish, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this one too when it aired last year. And again, so Trump went to Japan. He was feeding koi fish. Dumped the fish food first, and then Trump did it second. There was an edited video of only showing Trump in a zoom in, focusing on him, zoomed in, and then it showed him doing it only himself. Again, I mean, what is it going to take to show these people that's so brain dead by watching CNN and MSNBC and ABC and all these other mainstream media sites?
They wouldn't have given,
fake news.
For one thing, they wouldn't have given Trump a cup with way too much food in it. They would have given him a cup with the right amount of food to give to the fish.
Yeah. I don't know how many fish is in that pond. I mean, it could be 100 fish in that pond, or 200, or even 50. So
exactly,
you can't over
that was
fish.
What CNN did. What CNN did, and what the fake news media does, they use deliberate selective editing, and that's what they did in this case.
Like the golf picture.
We didn't even talk about that one.
Have you seen?
We didn't talk about that one.
The 239-pound Trump golfing.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought up CNN and golfing, because I think a couple of weeks ago Trump was at his Mar-a-Lago course. I don't think we mentioned this, and CNN was there. And they're trying to get a shot of Trump golfing, so they had to go into the freaking bushes. Henry, you probably seen this. Did you see this? You didn't see this? Oh my God, it's so damn
No, I'm
hilarious.
just
It's like
shaking my head. I'm just shaking my head about this. It's just how the ridiculousness of it. You know,
Did you see this? Did you see the video?
taking a photo of a man golfing.
So
I
they
did
had
see the photo. Yeah.
Yeah. So the video. So CNN. The CNN cameraman was like staking Trump out in the damn bushes, and you see, like, the foliage of the bushes, and then you see Trump golfing. And it's like some weird stalker guy, trying to see his the woman that he's trying to stalk, and then. What was even funnier was that there was this white truck that pulled up view of CNN and Trump golfing. And CNN spent like all day discussing that white truck. It's like, well, that truck needs to be moved because we deserve to see the president. We deserve, and they went on and on and on. They actually went to where that white truck was from, and they went to do an interview with the people that own the white truck and said, "Hey, who brought that white truck?" And it's like, oh my God, it's like this CNN is on complete total meltdown mode because of that white truck, and it was so damn hilarious.
I would quote Clint Eastwood to them, when they talk about they deserve to see the president. From Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it.
Exactly. So freaking literally.
I mean, damn. You can stand out in the open and take pictures. They have got the best zoom lenses in the world.
That is just insanity for them.
While the man is playing golf. What the hell?
That is just insanity.
It's like your neighborhood peeping Tom, where the guy is hiding out in your bush, and you try to peep the woman, see if she's naked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my God, it's so freaking hilarious. Yeah. Oh man! Speaking of CNN, this next award goes to CNN again.
Another one.
3 for 3. 3 for 3. CNN falsely reported about Anthony Scaramucci's meeting with the Russian, but retracted due to significant breakdown in process. 3 CNN employees resigned over retracted story on Russian ties. So yeah, we discussed this one when that broke. And so basically what happened is that they said that Anthony Scaramucci had a Russian connection somehow, but that turned out to be fake. And the people who reported that story resigned from CNN. Again, and plus they said anonymous sources. Again, there's that word, anonymous sources. I don't trust anything from anonymous sources.
You know what anonymous sources are?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I just received a tip from an anonymous source that Henry Pizza right now, and he's talking to Putin, and he's taking money from Putin and punting it into his potluck. I mean, okay, there. It has to be true because I had an anonymous source.
Anonymous sources are the things you made up in your mind and said out loud. There are no anonymous sources except what they make up. I mean, yeah, sometimes there are anonymous sources, but it's making it up in your mind. What is the best story I can think of to blow out Trump? Oh, okay, I'll say this, I'll say this, I'll say this. And then I'll say it came from anonymous sources.
Yeah.
Well, that's typical tactics of the left. Mm-hmm. I mean, to give anonymous sources credibility. They gave Dick Durbin credibility over the alleged shithole comment.
That turned out to be fake.
Even though he wasn't anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people still talking about it. And they and that he didn't say it.
Well, but then Durbin went back later and said, "Well, I don't know if he said it or not."
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of that? You came out and you was very freaking adamant that he said shithole countries. Now you're going back on that and says, "Well, I'm not quite sure." Waited until after they like interviewed almost half of the people in that room, and they said, "Well, there was a lot of laying around, but that wasn't one of it."
Yeah, and you had Cory Booker basically. Who was it?
And Cory Booker had a seat.
The director of Homeland Security.
Yeah, that poor woman about shithole countries. Whether she heard whether she heard President Trump say that or not.
If I was her, I would have just went off on him. I would have went off on him.
Cory Booker, bless his heart, peed his pants and cried his eyes out. What a horrible thing to say. Oh.
Oh my God.
mean, we said last week, even if it was true that President Trump did say it, we don't disagree with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are, and I'm sure some of the citizens in Haiti agrees with that because of what Hillary and Bill did.
And he didn't say the people were shitholes. He said the countries were shitholes. No. And they are.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
They are.
I mean, it's full of disease, full of drugs, full of everything. Of course they're going to be shitholes. Could you imagine? Actually, Obama did say something. He said something about Syria, and that was a shitstorm, and people then got overreacted over that.
No, the left did not have a conniption over that. They didn't have a conniption over him asking, "Whose ass do I have to kick?"
Yeah.
They didn't have a conniption over it. They didn't have a conniption over him using the N-word.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. He's liberal though. He's the
he's the Messiah.
He's
Jesus reincarnated.
It's okay.
They thought he was the Messiah, so he's allowed. That's what they figured. He's allowed.
He thought he was the Messiah too. He still thinks it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am here to tell you, he is not.
Well, if this memo come out, his Messiah days are over.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about the memo. The memo. All right. So this next award goes to. Yeah. What was that?
You kind of froze up there for a second when you were talking. So.
I was talking about the whole memo. And if
release the memo. Hashtag release the memo.
Yes. Yeah. And if that memo comes out.
I know we're going to get to that.
Obama would
next award, yeah.
Obama's legacy is done. The next award goes to Newsweek for falsely reporting that Polish First Lady Agata Kornhowa Duda did not shake President Trump's hand. And there's photographs of her shaking his hand. So again, editing. Copy and pasting, cropping, gosh. All right, and this is the next award goes to, oh my God, 4 for 4, CNN. CNN falsely reported that former FBI Director James Comey would dispute President Trump's claim after he was told he is not under investigation. I remember that quite frankly, quite well. CNN is Comey's going to say he did not say that. Comey is going to say he did not say that. And then the testimony came and Comey was like, yeah, I did say that. Again.
Yep, exactly. I mean,
it's like Groundhog Day.
What can we?
It's like Groundhog Day.
What? And there is nothing to do. You can't fix stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, it's like Groundhog Day. CNN posts a fake story. 5 hours later, they retract it. You go to bed. Let's repeat. You know, and
Yeah.
not just CNN, mainstream media in general. They
Rinse
post
and
fake
repeat.
stories, fake story.
All the fake news media does it.
Yeah.
And so they are 4 for 4 right now with the fake news awards.
Let me see here. And this next award goes to 2 for 2, New York Times.
New York Slimes.
Falsely,
Yeah.
New York Times falsely claimed. New York Times falsely claimed on a front page that Trump administration had hidden a climate report. Headline, and this actually, Washington Post actually posted the actual story. Real news, surprisingly, from the Washington Compost. New York Times guilty of large screw up on climate change story. Now, I don't remember this one in particular.
I don't either, but yeah.
But I don't doubt it though, because that's all they do with times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. The final award goes to, drumroll please. Brrr. Last but not least, Russia collusion. Russia collusion is perhaps the greatest hoax perpetrated on the American people. There is no collusion.
Why would
that was fake news media all around saying that, including CNN. So you could say that CNN 5 for 5. Yes, you could say that CNN was 5 for 5. Yeah.
CNN took home the fakies.
Why in the hell? Why would Russia help Trump win?
Who knows?
If Russia had been in our elections, they would have pulled it for Hillary.
Absolutely, because she did that whole Uranium One deal with them.
Exactly.
So you think they would go for the person that would actually,
would pulled it for Trump?
Tell him stuff.
That is the biggest. I have never understood why. How big an idiot must you be?
Yeah, I don't get it either. But yeah, they switch wars. First, it was hack the election. Then they changed it to Russia interfered with the election because they couldn't prove it. They actually hacked into the election, so they decided to say, "Oh, they interfered somehow." And Facebook and influence people. That's not a crime. And so that now, if they actually hack the election and go in and switch votes, then that's a major big deal. But influencing on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, that's not a crime. If you try to influence someone to vote for someone, that is not a crime.
And they would have influence to vote for Hillary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Didn't Hillary have celebrities saying vote for Hillary? You know, making 3 or 4 different videos.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah, exactly. Hillary is influencing people by using celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And should she be gone after because she was influencing the election? Having other people influence the election?
Maybe, but it ain't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Russia and Russia hacking, this is a great transition. First off, Robert Mueller is investigating the NRA to see if they have any Russian ties and see if any of the donations came from Russian banks. Because the R in NRA stands for National Russia Association. Apparently now.
Bull.
ridiculous. No, it's the National Rifle Association.
How and
I
how
was making a joke about that. I was just
I
making a joke.
know, it's just that's just the most.
and how long has it been called the National Rifles Association
Yeah.
or Riflemen's Association?
Yeah.
100
Ever
years?
since it was formed. Ever since it was formed.
Yeah.
Sure how old that organization is. It's been around a long time.
Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, so
NRA.
now Mueller is investigating the NRA for possible Russian funds. That's going to come up empty-handed. That's going to be a nothing burger. But there's also this memo that was talked about. Big, huge revelation in this memo. It's a 4-page memo. It was talked about saying this could bring down the Obama administration. This could bring down people at the FBI, CIA, all these corrupt agencies. This could bring down everybody. So I'll have to, and this was blown up on Twitter. This was trending nationwide, worldwide on Twitter. Hashtag release the memo.
Yeah.
And
going to?
Are they going to release the memo? This would be a good time for someone to leak that memo. I would absolutely praise the person.
I think we need to see what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's watching this and that knows what's in that memo, take it to WikiLeaks. Have them release it because you can say, I mean, I'm all for leaks if it's going to benefit the country. But if it's going to hurt the country or, hurt the military or anything, no, don't leak anything like that. But if it's going to, benefit this country and take down the evil that's in this country, go ahead and leak it.
If give us Americans, if it's going to enlighten us as Americans as to what has really taken place, then yes. And I agree too, Shane. We don't need to know military secrets and certain things. There are things we don't need to know.
Yeah.
As long as we are fairly trusting the government. But this we need to know. He's out of office now, and we need to know.
Absolutely, I agree. And so they said this memo is going to be devastating. It said it could put an end to the Mueller investigation. It could put major FBI officials in jail, including Rod Rosenstein, apparently, from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
It could confirm the fact that Obama ordered the DOJ to wiretap Trump and all these other bombshell revelations that occurred. And
really did.
And Henry, let's get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, here's the thing. If there's somebody who has this memo and they don't want to put their name, out in the ether, as it were, they can submit it anonymously to WikiLeaks.
Or, hey, submit it to us. Submit it to me. I'll help bring down the government. I don't care. It's gonna be great. But let's just say, because people are like, saying, oh, this is just some, nonsense. But let's just speculate and say, if what was in that memo could bring down the Trump administration, the Democrats would have a freaking hissy fit. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they're supposed to be like, we need to see what's in that memo. They have to release what's in that memo before we can see it. Should be having a heart attack, screaming and bloody murder, saying we need to release the memo. Chuck Schumer, we need to release the memo. All these people that's anti-Trump, never Trump, they'd be screaming, saying we need to release that memo because it'll take down the Trump administration. All these celebrities would be saying that. But seeing how it's going to benefit Trump and
not Obama,
the Obama administration, they're going to keep this quiet.
They're quiet. They have nothing to say. It's no big deal. It's nothing.
Yeah, it could get very interesting to see if it's released and what it actually. From what I've heard, it could be damaging to both sides. That means it could be damaging to Republicans,
Yeah, the
not necessarily
Republicans.
Right, the establishment Republicans. Yeah, not necessarily to the president, not necessarily to President Trump, but
John McCain and
yeah, there's several Republicans that need to get the hell out and go away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like Jeff. I call him Jeff Fake. That man said this week that the press is under sustained attack by this president. Stupid.
Reverse that. The president is under sustained attack from the press.
Exactly. I mean, he is showing the thing is, we talk about the never Trumpers and everything, but it's not. It goes beyond being a never Trumper. It goes into being a
neocon,
anti-American. No, it goes into being anti-American. That's what it is. It's not just never Trumpers.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he also did a speech, Jeff Fake did, in front of, 2 people, and called Trump a Stalinist.
Yes, he did.
I never.
I'll be glad with it.
Here's the thing.
I'll be glad when his ass. I'll be glad when his ass retires.
Yeah, and plus the 2 people they delivered the speech to were Dick Durbin and someone else. They were like 2 Democrats. Yeah. And here's the thing. So Jeff Fake can only draw 2 people. Trump can draw 20,000 people. All right.
Also, Dickhead the Turban Durbin was one of the ones that listened to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
figures. What I was going to say earlier about you were talking about the crazy-eyed Nancy Pelosi. The one that recently reminded me of crazy-eyed Nancy was that crazy-eyed psychiatrist who turns out doesn't even have a license to practice.
Oh yeah. That diagnosed Trump.
Yeah. So the psychiatrist diagnosed Trump without a license.
Yeah.
One, that's malpractice written all over that.
And once again, she had the crazy eyes when she was diagnosing.
I wonder if either that psychiatrist, but then it got revoked, or it never had a license to begin with.
Yeah, I wonder too.
I have heard that her license was revoked, but that could be just a rumor.
Yeah, I can see why that license is revoked. Probably malpractice.
Yeah, I mean, well, somebody who needs to have their license revoked is Dr. Matthew Johnson. Yeah.
Is he diagnosing people now?
Oh no, but I mean the lunatic, as we all know. Those that's a Bigfoot thing, guys. Inside joke. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Watch our Bigfoot shows for that.
Oh, he's the
That's probably the only person that has a mental illness.
I know who you're talking about. Is that? Wait a minute. Is that the dog trainer?
No, that's Peter Kane, and he's doing his stuff is parody. His stuff is parody.
Thank
Peter Kane.
God, because it is out of this world.
He's taking the piss, as they say in England. He's taking the piss.
Yeah. Well,
we're having great. You know what? We're having great transitions tonight. We can transition into Trump's mental illness and his physical. Man, this is a great night for transitions. So President Trump did his first physical for the White House doctor. Note, the White House doctor also inspected Obama. So he was Obama's doctor.
Yep. He was also, I believe, George W. Bush's doctor. So there's no possibility of bias, you see, because he's been the White House doctor for quite a few years now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He said the president is healthy as a horse.
Yep.
pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, he's very healthy. His cholesterol is slightly high.
But whose isn't? Is
Okay.
he?
Right, yeah. 239 pounds, and he can drop that.
And
Yeah.
Well, he can
every
drop that.
mainstream news channel has made the point at the end, but a psychiatric test was not done.
A cognitive test was done.
Yeah. That's similar to a psychiatric test.
Yeah.
The president scored a perfect 30 out of 30 on it.
Yeah.
And
the doctor, even the White House doctor, said he was mentally healthy. That he showed no signs of mental illness. So,
well,
Rush
he said
is dead,
that he has
mental illness is dead. What else are they going to come up with?
Yeah. Well, the doctor, Dr. Jackson, his last name is Jackson. He said that he sees the president 2 or 3 times a day because their offices are to the Oval Office. So he sees the president 2 or 3 times a day, and they talk to each other. They speak about stuff, not necessarily about medical stuff or health. They talk about other things. And his observation was, yeah, just kind of general chit chat,
shooting the bull,
and
shooting the bull.
Yeah, shooting the bull. Yeah, and he said he has not observed any kind of mental instability in the president at all.
Yeah.
Well, we all knew that.
And what's really funny was that when that whole thing came out, the mainstream media, I guess, or people around Twitter, was posting these photos of comparisons. Well, Trump is 6'4" and 239 pounds. And check out this guy. He's 6'4" and 230 some pounds. But the dude was like in his freaking 20s, and Trump is 71. There's going to be a difference, all right?
Yes.
If you're 71, you can't look like you're in your freaking 20s.
And something else that people are not considering is the president wears, I think it's some kind of a Kevlar vest or something like that underneath his clothes. He wears it under his suit.
Yeah. I mean,
so he's going to look heavier than he actually is.
Exactly. And wonder what they weigh. They're not light.
No, not Kevlar. Not if it's Kevlar.
And I mean, ask a policeman. But they're not light. And wear one all day walking at 72 or 3 years old. You've got to have.
He'll be 72 in June.
Yeah, you've got to have some health and stamina just to do that. Just to tote one all day.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he's concealed carry. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a little pistol, something in his jacket. I would not be surprised.
Gun. I wouldn't. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me either.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Remember when he was holding that rally and that guy rushed at him like that at him? He might have been about to pull his. If he did have a pistol, he might have been about to pull it out.
Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been probably epic.
That would have been.
It would have.
That would have been epic.
Oh man, that would have been awesome.
Because if I was running president, I would wear a vest, I would conceal carry, and if someone comes after me, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to defend myself. Because Secret Service can do so much, and they can't get there. They can be there as fast as possible. They can't get on time, but just like Andrew Jackson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Andrew Jackson and the story of where he was almost assassinated. So what Andrew Jackson did was he took his cane and beat his assassin until the Secret Service got there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Seems like I've heard that. Yeah, that's cool.
That not surprised me. I mean,
you gotta
he
have
did shoot Teddy. He survived that. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt was a pretty stout dude. I mean, he was pounds.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Andrew Jackson, he was in the duel with Aaron Burr, right?
Yes.
That was him.
Hey, listen.
And he won that duel.
No. It was Andrew. It was Aaron Burr, and it wasn't Andrew Jackson, was it?
All right, let's search this.
My husband,
Hamilton. It was Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton.
My husband is related to Hamilton from back when, and
Alexander Hamilton. Yeah.
Alexander Hamilton. Yeah. And I remember when we first got together, and me and my husband, and we were talking, and getting to know each other and telling each other about our lives and histories and whatever. And he was telling me about Alexander Hamilton was his ancestor, and got into a fake duel with Aaron Burr. It was a fake duel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it neither one of them was supposed to shoot the other. It was set up. And I can't remember right off what the situation was that brought them to the duel, but it was set up and it was schemed that nobody would get killed. And Aaron Burr inadvertently or somehow killed Alexander Hamilton. And I remember Jimmy telling me the whole story, and then we sat silent for a minute, and Jimmy said, "Dumbass," about Alexander Hamilton.
So I believe it was Hamilton that had the deal with Burr, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Alexander Hamilton had the deal with the Burr, and I think Hamilton lost.
Maybe he did. Maybe Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr killed Hamilton. That's right.
Remember back in the early 2000s when Zell Miller talked about having a duel with Chris Matthews? Remember that? Conservative Democrat from South Carolina. He was a Carolina. And he didn't. He didn't cotton too well to leftists. Let's put it that way. And I imagine he was probably embarrassed by his own party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Retired now, I'm not sure. Or I don't know if he passed away or if he retired. I think he may have retired.
I was pregnant in part of 2002, and I didn't have any blood or oxygen in my brain, so I missed part of that year.
I think we all did. I think we all did.
It was all in my belly supporting the baby. Go ahead.
All right. Well, there's you guys' history lesson for tonight. But let's continue on. So we may be a few hours away from a government shutdown if they don't get this spending bill
shutdown. Yes, the Schumer shutdown.
If they don't get the spending bill passed, the government may shut down, and it's looking like they may or may not get the spending bill passed. Trump actually welcomed Schumer to the Oval Office to do a deal, and what's riding on this deal is DACA. DACA is this whole thing that's throwing the wrench into the system. DACA needs to be defunded completely. I'm going to have to go back on my word from a couple of weeks ago, and I say that all these illegals need to go. They just need to go.
What I was going to say was this won't really be a shutdown, like a full wide shutdown. This will be more like a slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
Services are not going to be cut off because when Obama was president, they had the government shut down, and it was more like a slowdown. Essential services were still rendered. So
I did remember the national parks was closed.
Yeah,
that was about it.
Obama closed all the things that Republicans like, love, and have pride in.
Mm-hmm.
In that government shutdown, he did anything and everything.
This
yeah,
not be something that people need to panic about.
Yeah, because your girl Dianne Feinstein said, "People's gonna die. It's gonna be like Armageddon. People gonna die." I'm like, people's not gonna die if the government shuts down.
She's oh my god, I can't stand her. You know what? C word.
The big C word.
She's the big C word.
Not to be
either. She's the big C.
The big C. The big C. That's an alternative word for the big P word. Oh man, I just cannot stand
my opinion is let it shut down. Let it shut down. What are they really doing for us anyway?
Yeah, I think if they do let it shut down, I think this is going to open a lot of people up because they are going to. Trump can win with this. Trump can win with the government shutdown. Yes. He can spin this entirely in 360 degrees. He can say, well, the Democrats, they don't care about our military. They don't care about this. They don't care about secure borders. They don't care about America.
All they want is those Democrat illegal votes.
Trump can spin this, and Trump can say, well, the Democrats and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi only care about illegals. They don't care about our military. They want to take all the funding from our military and give it to illegals. I mean, he can have a ball with this.
Yes, but
of course,
the mainstream media is not going to report that.
I was going to say the fake news media will spin it a different way, as we all know.
Yeah,
that's where he comes in with Twitter. He can hold a rally. I mean, they have to cover him. They have to cover his tweets. They have to cover his rallies. They can. I mean, he can actually do a freaking press conference and say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is why the government is shutting down because of the Democrats' refusal to support our military and our vets."
Yep.
They'll still spin it.
Well, of course they will.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine, as I said earlier, I'm not the greatest person. I've made mistakes. You know, I cannot imagine being that damn pitiful and lying, and there's a level I won't pass. And how in the hell is it the money they make? Is it truly how they feel? I don't know, but
it's a combination of all things. It's a combination of their blackmail. It's a combination of they hate Trump. It's a combination of they do what they're told because they get paid so much. It's a combination of all that.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some things I won't do. You know, and one of my girlfriends said, one of my old girlfriends from high school back in the 80s, and she said, looking back, she said, we did a lot of things that we had no damn business doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But we never stole. We never tore people's things up. We didn't hurt anybody. We just partied up and down the dirt roads and, and whatever. She said, but we were raised in church and there was a line we would not cross. We just knew better, even as teenagers. And she's right.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, let me say this. Let me say this about the fake news media. They generally, here's the thing. There may be those who are in the fake news media who are being told what to say and what to do by their bosses because they'll get paid more and things like that. And maybe they don't really believe what they're saying or they don't agree with it, but they go along with it because it's their job. But I truly think that I truly think that individuals, especially on CNN, like Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, and a few others on CNN actually believe what they are saying, and they actually, go with that point of view.
And that is scary. That these educated, well-paid, supposedly intelligent people believe this trash.
Well, Anderson Cooper has CIA ties, and he's reportedly from the CIA. He's one of them CIA operatives.
I just realized what Shane's drinking. He's drinking Coors Light.
I have to do this to get through. To get through.
I know he's what was his mama, Vanderbilt?
Gloria Vanderbilt, yes.
Ooh, really?
Far as I know, she's still alive.
Anderson Cooper's mama is Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, that's right.
That's I think they're like one of the top globalist type people. The Vanderbilts, just like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all that.
Yeah. And he's a good looking fella. But
the Vanderbilts made their fortune. I think it's like jeans, blue jeans, Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they made their fortune on.
But I assume they still make clothes. Vanderbilt.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine so.
And a ton of other things too. They've got enough money.
Yep.
That they can keep making money on whatever.
Yeah. Now, something that occurred earlier this week, it was Martin Luther King Day on Monday. And Don Lemon brought on Martin Luther King's nephew, Isaac, can't remember what his last name is. Never remember his last name. But he's Martin Luther King's nephew. He brought him on to talk to him, and he tried his best. Don Lemon tried his best to get Isaac to denounce President Trump as a racist. The bait. He did not take the bait, and I thought that was really excellent.
Absolutely,
that he did not go for it. And I mean, and when the segment was over, I mean, he essentially he royally embarrassed Don Lemon.
He did, and it was great.
And after the segment was over, Don Lemon actually apologized for having him on.
Wow. Could you imagine?
Are you kidding me?
Dr. King. Could you imagine? Because Dr. King, he was fairly conservative in today's standards.
Yes.
All right. The left would have hated Dr. King. If Dr. King was still out today, I wholeheartedly believe he would have been a Trump supporter all the way, all the freaking way.
I think so too.
And could you imagine if Don Lemon brought on Dr. King to bait him, to race bait him, to call someone a racist? That would just been so horrible. That would just been wow. That would just been But a
Dr.
nephew,
King would have handed him. Dr. King would have handed him his ass.
yeah,
What a sorry SOB.
He would have.
Um,
He would have handed Don Lemon his ass.
what?
Since he was a reverend, referring to Dr. King, he would have probably said, "Well, you know, Don, style is an abomination because Don Lemon is gay." Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure that Dr. King would have.
Reverend, yeah.
Yeah.
He would have probably pointed that out.
What's her name? The niece or great niece?
I think so. I think a niece or what?
What's her name?
Ava.
She is also a Trump supporter.
You darn right, and she's on Fox fairly often, and she's way more conservative. Which I find out more and more and more as I get older and read and research. Martin Luther King was a wonderful dude.
He really was. He was. That's what I've heard too.
Yes, and yeah, she's on Fox a lot. I watched a little piece the other day of her on Fox talking about Trump. And so many black people have realized that the Democrats have done nothing for 50 or 60 years but hold them down and control them. But so many also have not realized that. And we need more to realize that they can stand up, they can work hard, they can do anything they want to do.
Yeah.
The American dream is open to them just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
And the Democrat,
that's why they call it the Democrat plantation, you know.
Yeah, the Democrats have held them down, kept them in their place, done just enough for them to get their votes, and that's it. And I hate it.
And even the fake news media,
their new version of slavery is that.
Even on Martin Luther King Day, a day when we are to commemorate, the memory of the great civil rights leader, the fake news media still kept asking President Trump, "Are you a racist? Are you a racist?"
Yeah, and he had.
They were asking.
Yeah.
He signed the proclamation of honoring Dr. King. Yeah, so that's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I'm not a racist to anybody. If you're a decent, good person, I'll be decent and good to you. But
They were asking. I think it was Sarah Sanders, I believe, when she gave a press conference.
Oh, she's good.
Now, I tell you what, she is really great. Yeah.
She is good.
She's better than Spicer was.
I love her. I absolutely adore her.
Yes.
So much better than Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She shuts them down. It's like she almost has because she's a Southerner. She almost has that bless your heart type attitude.
That Southern belle.
Yeah. She can tell you off and bless your heart all at the same time.
Yes, exactly, Lael. Exactly. I love it.
Yep. We have that.
Yes.
We have a viewer watching, Lucas. Hey, Lucas, and he commented. He said the demonic Democratic Party. That's true. That's true.
I'm with you, Lucas.
Absolutely.
Well, we know that evil roams the world, and I guess they got it.
Let's see here. So weekend Trump. Trump, besides the fake news awards, Trump addressed a pro-life march today. Very first sitting
He
president.
did that this morning.
This morning, a very first president to address a pro-life march. And what's really great was that it was the 45th president addressing the 45th annual pro-life march. How epic is that?
Cool.
How epic is that? That is so cool.
That is tremendous. That's just, yeah. I love that.
Why,
that's just great.
Why is it that the pro-abortionists aren't wearing the PUSSY hats anymore?
You can say it. You can say it. So I found out, this is great. I was on Twitter.
The pussy hats.
The pussy hats.
Yeah.
You want to know a great story about this? The reason why they're not wearing the pussy hats anymore is because it's not gender conformed. Because, you know, because all women, all women don't have.
The women who have penises.
Yes, they don't want to offend the women that have the penis. That's why they don't wear the pussy hats anymore.
I knew, but I couldn't remember. Oh my God.
You know, it's like this.
Genderly acceptable.
It's like this. If you're a woman, you don't have a penis. You are a former man.
Mm-hmm.
You are a man.
Mm-hmm.
You are not a woman.
Absolutely.
If you've got the block and tackle, you're not a woman.
Lucas says you're either a man or a woman. There are only two genders. Abso-freaking-lutely. Here's the thing. All right, so I compare transgender surgery to breast implants. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so you can have breast implants. You can make your boobs bigger, but they're still fake. All right. You can change. You can have the surgery, do all that, but you're still a man. All right, it's fake. All right, that's my comparison.
Well, I agree that.
All right, you guys take it from here. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
I
agree that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree that some people are born feeling the other way, or born attracted to the same sex. If you think about, and my mama said this to me, my mama was a nurse, and she said this to me after my son was born. She said, "Do you realize how many millions of things have to go right for a baby to be born healthy?" And I do agree that there could be a disconnect somewhere, or, and you might feel like you like girls instead of boys, or vice versa, or you feel like you're a girl when you're built to be a boy. It can happen because sometimes wires get crossed and things don't go right. But if that's how they really feel, okay, go ahead and do what you feels right for you. But don't make the other 99.9% of us go with you.
I go along with that for sure. With you, Lyle, definitely. You have all these individuals who talk about gender fluidity, gender fluid. up all these words for different genders. How many alleged genders are there now?
Oh,
I mean, good
God,
Lord.
100.
90, 70, 80, 100,000. That core is running straight through me.
My son is 14 and a half. He went through, and he never liked trucks and cars. Never cared a thing. People gave him Tonka toys and Hot Wheels cars. Never touched them. Didn't care a thing about them. Played with blocks or played video games or puzzles and he went through spells where he wanted smushy, soft teddy bears or whatever, and spells he went through. He wanted little cooking sets and that kind of thing. And we just got him whatever he wanted. He also liked guns and bow and arrows and four wheelers and whatever he liked, girl or boy, we just let him do.
They
He's
call it a
14
phase. It's a phase.
Yeah, it's a phase. And we let him do what he was interested in at the time. He's 14 and a half and been steady with one girl for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's mighty young for that. But she helps him. She talks to him and tells him to do things. I can say, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. She can say, brush your teeth, and he goes, brush them. I mean, he's a smart kid, but we didn't force either way on him, but at the same time, we sent him the boy way, but if he didn't care about it, what he wanted, we kind of got for him. And he, so far, thank you, Lord, he's a good boy. And if he was gay, I would never stop loving him. But I don't think he is. But yeah, it phases.
Well, here.
But you shouldn't be pushing it.
Yeah. Well, you see, the reason why they pushing it is because the left and the elite, the evil people are so hell bent on pedophilia, and that's what this whole thing is about: is pedophiles. They're pushing it and trying to make pedophilia normal. That's the main reason why.
That cannot happen.
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean,
here's the thing.
They're having drag queens going to daycare and kindergartners and telling them, "Oh, you may not be the gender that you're born with. Oh, you may be gender fluid." They're brainwashing these kids. They're starting them young to promote this pedophile agenda.
Yep, exactly.
Here's the thing. I would imagine that there are who play with dolls. Girl dolls. They turn out to be homosexual. They just prefer to play with girls' dolls. To be gay doesn't mean they're kind of. I mean, I think that's very stereotypical to say that a young boy that plays with girl dolls is going to turn out gay.
Yeah, because
I don't.
They might not. Like I said, if James wanted a tea set, we bought a tea set. But he was also out running in the yard with the neighbor's little boy shooting guns, play guns. And it kind of went But at night, he might like a big snuggly something to sleep with. And we just didn't worry about it um, that much either way. And as long as he,
Yeah.
but I think you should let them go the way they're going to go. But I don't think you should, when they're small and young, preschool, kindergarten, first, second, third grade, be telling them what their other
exposed to all that.
are. Because only like 0.5% of America is gay or transsexual or whatever either. Anyway.
Yeah, it's very small portion. Lucas commented and said, hashtag stomp the pedos. Absolutely. Stomp them.
Yes, I agree. And the Muslims are a big part of that too.
Yeah, with all the child brides and all that.
Yeah. And the molestation of little boys and all of that. And remember the dude in the army? I don't remember what branch, but he was in the branch of one branch of the service over in the Middle East. And the little boy in the area, one of the Afghans or one of the native men in the area was abusing.
I haven't heard that. I didn't hear that.
Oh, it's been a year or so ago. And the American guy had noticed it, mentioned it to the mom, and the mom said, there's nothing I can do about it. So and so. And in time coming, anyway, the next time or whatever that the American soldier happened to see this Middle Eastern man, he punched him in the face.
Oh, wow.
And told him what he thought. And then the American guy got arrested and put under investigation and blah, 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 blah. And I think finally nothing came of it because it was their country and their tradition, and we were not to interfere.
And that's what they want to do. They want to bring all that here. That's why they want to open the borders up. They want to open the borders up to all these criminals, all these rapists, all these whatever, and they want to bring all that here.
Here. And I don't understand, why do the Democrats want this?
It's a part of their agenda.
I know the Democrats want the votes. But do they realize that if they achieve their goal in 30 years, their children and grandchildren will be under this law?
They don't care.
Right, yeah.
It's a part of their agenda, and that agenda is, the New World Order, one government, one banking system, one religion, all that. Open borders everywhere. That's what they want. That's their agenda. But go ahead, Henry.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that, not only do you have boys playing with girl dolls, sometimes you have girls who play with boy toys.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And they're not lesbians. Most of them are not lesbians. No. I mean, they're tomboys.
There you go. Tomboys. Exactly, Shane. They're considered tomboys. There are girls who climb trees.
Yeah.
There
I
are girls who Yeah, there are girls who they could be in their best Sunday dress and they get in the mud, or they get in a. I can give you an example. My sister, when she was younger, she was wearing this really nice dress, and she jumps. We're living in Georgia, and we have this creek down behind our house. It had a deeper part where the water kind of came up to right about to here.
Uh-huh.
Here on her, she got in that creek wearing her dress.
Sunday dress.
One day.
I bet
Yeah. And our dog jumped in with her. Our dog, she had Georgia clay just about up to here on her. Our dog did. So she was part husky, part German Shepherd. Beautiful dog. Very sweet, very loyal dog.
One of my best friends is a diesel engineer, and she's about 5'3" and weighs about 130 pounds. 28 or 30 years old, and she crawls into tractors and works on tractors. You know, but she is cute as a little button, and paints her fingernails and fixes her hair and has a boyfriend and, you know, all whatever. But that's her daddy took her out when she was little bitty, and she learned how to fix tractors.
Yep, there you go.
See, the left's mindset is that, well, if they're doing all this, then they could have surgery and be a boy or be that girl that they try to be. But what? I'm like, what? No, they don't. They're not wanting to be a boy because they play with boy toys or whatever. And then the opposite, they're just doing it because it's fun. They're kids. They're having fun.
The bottom line is men and women are equal, and they are not equal. Men and women are made to complement each other. And where the areas where a man is not that good, the woman fills in. And areas where the woman is not that strong or good, the man fills in. We're made to complement each other.
Yeah, and you know, there's female truck drivers.
Yeah.
They're women who drive trucks. The big rigs, you know, they drive the big rigs, you know, and they do just as well as the men.
But there are some things that a man can do that a woman just cannot do.
Yeah,
that's true. But then again,
strength-wise,
well, that's true. But then again, conversely, there are things women can do that we men cannot do. So
absolutely. And then then you got these feminists that says, well, if a man can do it, then a woman can do it, and that's not the case. You know, that's not the case in some aspects, like you guys said.
Exactly. When God said the two shall become one, he meant in my weaknesses, your strengths, your weaknesses, my strengths, put them together and make it one. Yep. And my husband and I did that. In just 2 to 3 years, we figured out amongst ourselves. He was better at deciding these things. I was better at deciding these things. And when problems came up, we just deferred to the one who was better at that subject. You know? And we did very well. I just don't understand there aren't, even with all of the crapola flying about, are you hearing men say, I want to be as good as a woman?
That's sexist if a man says that.
Gay, liberal, whatever men, are you hearing them say, I can do anything a woman can? So why are the women so worried? I can do anything a man can do. You're not supposed to. You weren't made to. You do better things than men can do in so many ways. You know, and men do better, you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just disgusting to me. All right, I'm done with my rant.
Yeah, that's all right, and that's what the show's all about. You know, we may go off topic, but it's still relevant in today's society.
Right.
Let's see here. What else we've got that happened this week? We talked about the memo. Trump. The only thing he did was talk about the pro-life fake news awards. We covered that. Government shutdown. We covered that. Anything else that you guys can think of that we haven't covered?
No, I think we hit on all the major.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's go ahead and get to some local news. Leo, if you got any local news for us?
Go to Henry.
All right, Henry.
Yes, I actually have two local stories, and they involve the weather that we had. Thankfully, all that has passed us now. Get into the story. I mean, here in our area, last Friday we had about an inch or so of ice. I thought it was snow. It turned out it was ice. I mean, it was hard. It was like ice crust when you walked on it.
Ice is bad.
It stuck around for a few days, and then it got up above 40, almost to 50 degrees on Monday, and a lot of the ice melted. But that was just in time for late Monday night. We got 3 inches of snow, and the temperatures dipped way down.
So we then you had snow on ice.
Well, most of the ice was melted anyway, so that wasn't really a concern.
Oh.
We had temperatures that dipped way down. I mean, it got down to single digits. I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday night. Single digits with wind chills in the minus category. So it was extremely cold. A lot of the snow had already begun melting because it was very sunny on Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday. So a lot of the ice started melting. During the day, we finally got above freezing yesterday, enough for a lot of the snow to start melting. Today it was above freezing also, although it was cloudy, and a lot of the snow has melted. So just about all of it's gone now. So and we're going to be almost up to 60 tomorrow, and almost up to 70 on Sunday.
Good.
But it's going to rain.
Wow.
It's going to rain, but it's only going to be rain. It's not going to be snow or anything like that, and no cold temperatures. So we're going to get to the first story. Emergency declared for schools affected by winter weather. Across the state, shut down for several days this week as Mississippi dealt with severe winter weather. A concern among the districts was how they would be able to make up the missed days as the school year moved along. Phil Bryant issued a proclamation stating that the Department of Education will make the call on whether or not the districts that must make up the missed days. I have declared a state of emergency for school districts affected by this week's winter weather. retains authority to decide if schools will make up any days missed, Governor Bryant tweeted. In the proclamation, the governor states that it may not be financially feasible to operate schools for the full 180 days after this week's closures. Accompanying his statement was the full proclamation related to the state of emergency. The proclamation has been signed by the governor. Governor Bryant's post did not include a timeline of when a decision on the makeup days could be announced. Now, my niece, she was out of school for 2 days. Well, actually 3 days. Well, you could say 2 days because Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and everybody was out.
Yeah.
Everybody was out for Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
But she was out on Tuesday because of the snow on the roads. And then Wednesday was only because it was just so cold. Because of the cold temperatures.
My son has been home so much too since Christmas vacation.
Yeah. It was just too cold because the temperatures were it wasn't possible to heat the entire school. So
yeah,
because our schools are older. The schools that we have here, the school buildings are very old. I mean, the high school building is well over 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
it's really hard to uniformly heat the entire buildings, and that's why they were out of school on Wednesday, but they went back yesterday. In school yesterday and today. All right, second story is also about the weather. Weekday weather rundown, January 19th, 2018. Weather across the state today. In North Mississippi, sunny today with highs in the mid-40s. Lowest wind chill readings would range from 10 to 15 in the morning. Friday night will not be as cold as it has been lately. Partly cloudy skies with lows in the lower to mid-30s. In central Mississippi, expect sunny skies today with highs in the lower 50s. Tonight, not as cold with partly cloudy skies in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. Lows will be in the lower to mid-30s. A hard freeze warning is in effect until 9 a.m. this morning. During the day, temperatures will not be as cool as they have been. Mostly sunny skies with widespread frost in the morning. Highs will be in the lower to mid-50s. At night, temperatures dipping down, but not too low tonight, with mostly cloudy skies in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. There will be areas of frost after midnight. Lows will be in the mid to upper 30s. So, the worst is over for now. Extremely cold temperatures and the snow and ice. Now, that's not to say we might not have it again this season, because I mean it's only late January. But you can see what happens.
Yeah, we got another month and a half.
Within the next couple of months. Well, we've had it here. We have had it here. Spring, it was there was ice, there was frost, and it was cold. So it's not unusual for us to have a first day of spring still be cold. So anyway, that's my local news.
All right. Before I get to my local news, Lucas brought up a great story that we missed, and I also missed this other one too. I talked about it in the preview of the rundown. Twitter and their shadow banning. We have to discuss that real quick. And Lucas also discussed that Newsweek was raided. So I did some research on why it was raided. So the Gateway Pundit linked an article from the New York Post that said about 24 investigators from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office raided the offices of Newsweek and its parent company, IBT Media, on Thursday. IBT Media was co-founded by Jonathan Davis and Oziak. The IRS placed a $1.2 million federal tax lien against the Oziak in December 2017. The agent said to be photographing servers in the office, but not downloading any files at the offices at the 7 Hanover Square, according to sources. They appear to be photographing the serial numbers of that machine, said a source. A few details have emerged from the raid. A.V. Asher Shaprio at looking into reports said on Twitter, looking into reports at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office at Manhattan DA raided Newsweek/IBT offices today, Thursday. Sources say police have been in there for hours. The DA has declined to comment. Newsweek is also in the news Thursday after an insider of Newsweek told the rap editor John Levine that the magazine had abandoned journalism for rage clicks in the Trump era. Thing that he said Newsweek was once a premier media organization, an incredible springboard for young journalists hoping to grow a name for themselves, the source told Levine. The company culture has turned the newsroom into a toxic work environment, while the publication has descended into content farm for last resort clickbait, the source added. Yeah, so basically Newsweek is a failing magazine now. I mean, it's gotten so bad. They're talking about Trump's hair, and it's linked to erectile dysfunction. They're saying that Hillary still has a chance of becoming president if all that Russia stuff is true, and if Paul...
Yes, I saw that. Mark Dyson's latest video talks about that. That there's this professor at Harvard.
That's a trashy school now. Harvard used to be so well respected. They're a trashy school now. But go ahead, Henry.
There's a professor at Harvard who is saying that, well, you know, if collusion is proven from Russia, between Russia and the Trump administration, the president can be impeached. They say also Mike Pence can be removed. That means Paul Ryan would be the president. And then he suggests, well, you know, and Paul Ryan should give the presidency over to the person who was defeated by treason, and that's Hillary Clinton.
That's not how it works.
I mean, that professor is a lunatic. He's in fantasy land.
He is in fantasy. That's not how it works. You know, them old ladies. That's not how it works on that commercial. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Yeah. That's not how that works.
Her Facebook wall with all.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is a guy who is teaching impressionable young people.
Yeah,
think about that.
Well,
he's an instructor, for crying out loud.
That's been the Democrats' plan for 50, 60 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that professor's full on communist. Go ahead, though.
I'm not sending. Like I said, that's been the Democrats' plan 50 or 60 years in the colleges, and it's come through a generation into another generation. And
the Saul Alinsky tactic of hitting the educational system.
My son.
I mean, that is just some of the most laughable stuff I've ever heard.
I just
I'm sorry, Layla. I'm sorry.
College. I just as soon go to community college and learn his trade or a technical. And I live in North Carolina. I have some of the best colleges in the country. You know, Duke, Carolina State. And I don't want him to go.
Yeah.
He can be public school now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with how radically leftist these college professors are, why go to college?
Yeah, you're better off not going. I'm sure you can.
Things now you can do otherwise. And get a degree, learn a trade, or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take 14 other courses in 2 years that have nothing to do with your major. You can take things that have to do with your major, mechanics, computers, dentistry, whatever. You can take things that apply to what you want to do.
They got you go to college, and for an example, for me, you go to college, and if you want to get like a computer science degree, and they make you take gender studies and all this other nonsense that has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
It's insane. Like I said, colleges now are freaking indoctrination camps.
Exactly.
For young people. And I would not send my kid to college until, college reform, and until they reform every single college and quit being so insanely idiotic. Just like that professor, oh, Hillary still can get it, even though she lost. It's so insane. And I'm glad you bring up Fantasyland. And that's the thing about Trump. Trump is busting their fantasy world. Yep. All right? They cannot accept the fact that their fantasy world has been busted.
Yep.
Very true. Very true.
But
it's just, I mean, you just have to laugh at some of the idiocy, the absolute rank insanity, as John Kirk would say.
I wonder how that professor came up with that. I wonder if he like was in a room somewhere with the freaking bulletin board and the string. Okay. So if Russia was true, then that means Pence is next, and then Pence has to resign. So Paul Ryan is next, and then Paul Ryan has to. It's like, what the hell did you came up with that?
Exactly.
It's so insane. All right, so it's so let's transition into Twitter and their whole expose from Project Veritas. More stuff came out within the last couple of weeks. First was that you have these tech people, actual tech executives, shadow banning conservative views on Twitter and anybody that's pro-Trump. So they're getting shadow banned. Basically, what shadow ban is that you're not technically banned from Twitter, but you still see what you tweeted out. You still see what people has tweeted out, but they technically refrained from making it trending worldwide. They use these algorithms. They block people. They basically make you sort of invisible. They make you invisible. And they have these, tech people out there that says, well, we have to stop the shitty people from making the world shittier, and we have all these terms that we ban, all these redneck terms that we ban, and there's video after video of this, and it's on the Project Veritas website. And now recently, it came
the
out.
Thing is, that story late last week, but it was shadowed, pardon the pun, by Shithole Gate.
Yeah.
Came out during Shithole Gate. Shithole Gate was the whole distraction from the whole Twitter gate scandal.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
See, that's what the mainstream media do.
We screwed out
distractions
really here, so we need to get
distraction bombs out to refrain you from seeing what's going on.
It's the 4 Ds of the left. It's deny, delay, deflect, distract.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yep. And then not only that, it's also came out now that apparently there's like 300 people, 400 people going through private messages on Twitter, seeing everything that you sent on Twitter. And now if someone is stupid enough, and yes, I did say stupid enough to send a dick pic on Twitter, they document that. They see that. They have that. So, all my guys that's watching, go from the neck down, or at least the waist down. Don't put your face in there, because you're being, So So if I sent a dick pic to Lel, the person that is monitoring Twitter can get that and do God knows what with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm not on.
It's like if you're gonna put your Johnson on Twitter, don't put your face there. Clears mistakes.
I don't do Twitter, but I've got enough just with Facebook. That's enough on my hands and messages on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's damn enough. I'm not, I'm not somebody who stares at my phone all day every day, talking back and forth.
Something that Mark Dice
put my
was
phone down
talking about,
and occasionally
video is,
but
something that Mark Dice was talking about in his latest video is a clickbait. That Newsweek does a lot of clickbait stuff now on their website.
Clickbait. I try not to do those either.
And I think
name a movie.
Something people as well. Just
yeah.
Do what?
They have all these things now. Name a movie with only a GIF, or share your age using a GIF, or even
Okay, that's okay. That's not clickbait. What clickbait is having a title of an article that's misleading. So let's say if I had a title that says,
"Oh yeah." Well,
click this article to see Henry's pizza eating photo, and then they click the article and it's just something completely different.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. I know that too. Yeah, I think
what you're talking about is those Facebook quizzes that people shares.
Yeah,
do this quiz and
what I was talking about. Yeah. But I agree, and I do know that the other things are clickbait too, with the big headline that seems interesting, and then you click, and then you go through ads and ads and ads and ads and ads, and they try to get you to. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I've actually done the quizzes, the Facebook quizzes. So
yeah, that's more of the spammy type stuff. Because then you have to if it's especially if it's like send this to your 5 friends, and
if it's
see what their Walking Dead name is or whatever. Go ahead.
I'm talking about I was talking about these quizzes that they put out. These how well do you know this show?
I do a quiz once in a while.
Yeah.
If my friend has done one and it seems interesting, I will do a quiz on occasion, but for the most part, this what was your favorite 80s song, or if it's not from a friend, if it's just some odd.
Yeah, some of those are spam sites, and they can get your information off
where the 80s is the topic, or is the where it's sent from, or there ain't no need to do that. It might be all right, and it might be spam just to get your info. Yeah. Okay.
Right, and another thing I forgot to mention is that I put out a Facebook page or Facebook post on the politically alternative website endorsing our first candidate, Michael Snyder, for Congress in Idaho. He's very pro-Trump. He's pro Make America Great Again. So I'm endorsing him for Congress in Idaho.
Cool.
So tell your friends, family about Michael Snyder. And we'll also put some, I'm on his website right here, and here's some of the things that he is. He's 100% pro-life, 100% pro-liberty, 100% pro-gun, abolish IRS, abolish income tax, abolish the Fed. I am for limited government, abolish the EPA, and I am for term limits. So this is some of the Make America Great Again agenda stuff. And
his name is what?
Michael Snyder, Snyder.
From where?
Phil Snyder. That's
Idaho.
What he said.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Idaho, yeah.
Okay.
So if
Good.
friends, family in Idaho. So if you have any friends, any family that's in Idaho, tell them about Michael Snyder and go to his webpage, www.michaelsnyderforcongress.com. And we'll post some articles about Michael Snyder in the upcoming weeks, and sure.
I have nobody in Idaho, but if he's a good conservative, I like him.
Oh yeah, he's pro-Trump all the way.
Hey, maybe we should get 10 buses full of people and ride to Idaho and all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, we'll probably get caught since we don't look Hispanic, though. And since we don't look like illegals. All right. Let me get to my local news real fast.
No, but hey, they do it. Why can't we? And then we
Absolutely. Why not?
a bus tour of America with like-minded Republican people.
Mm-hmm.
They could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Let's do it. All right. So let me get to my local news. So Henry, a couple of months ago, you was talking about your schools in your area being consolidated. Well, now Mercer County Schools is planned to merge two primary schools. Whitehorn Primary School and Memorial Primary School will be consolidated. Mercer County schools will receive more than $10 million in grant money. In addition, the school system will contribute $1.5 million. The school leader said that the consolidation is much needed. The new school would be a great opportunity for the students in Mercer County because we can offer more courses than the old school due to the age of the old buildings. We can give them opportunities for STEM education. The data and information specialist for Mercer County Schools, Teresa Russell, said the school is planning the school is in the planning and design phase, but is said to be built beside Bluefield High School. School officials estimated the school will open in fall of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind combining schools like that. It's just, I think it'd be a little bit difficult on the students. It's going to be more students in the same thing, and there might be more, the classroom size might be larger. That's my opinion on consolidating schools. Is I don't agree with having a larger classroom size because students aren't some students aren't equipped for that. They don't like that because then they won't have enough one-on-one teacher time with the teacher.
I agree with that, and they consolidated some schools here about 10-15 years ago, and the regular public had been fighting it for 40 years or more since I was born. I know before I was born, my daddy was fighting consolidating the schools because it was going to take 3 schools and where the children were all within 5 or 10 miles of the school, and take those 3 schools, put them into one, and the children were going to have to ride 25 miles or whatnot to get to school. And why couldn't we just keep these 3 open that we had? And my daddy fought it along with others as long as he lived, or almost, but they finally did it about 10 years ago. And I know a kid now who's just got in 9th grade at this school, and he gets on the bus at like 5:30.
Oh, wow.
To get to school at 8.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives, you could drive there in 15-20 minutes. But he's catching the bus at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning to get to school at 8. And I don't agree with that. I don't think children, and then it's now almost 6 when he gets home. And he's got homework and all of that. I don't agree.
Yeah, I mean,
keep them closer to home. That's bull.
Well, yeah, if the bus driver has a huge route, then they're going to go all over God's green earth, I think.
Yeah.
Dropping kids off, picking kids up.
And I know that they make it, I know that they figure out the routes, what is the most strategic and best for the kids, for gas mileage, for time, and all of that. And the bus driver just drives the bus. But my kid's going to go to that school next year. And I don't know how long it's going to take him to get there on the bus. I don't want to get up and have to take him 10, 12 miles every morning and every afternoon. But I also don't want him on a bus for 2 freaking hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that, like, it's probably going to get to the point where he has to wake up at 4 in the morning just to get there by 8,
Exactly. And that's bull.
I was talking to somebody last night who had to do that. They had to get up at like 5 a.m. just to catch the bus.
Yeah.
Because of how large was that bus driver had to go. Also, we forgot to talk about. Was it 2 weeks ago? We talked about this letter that was written by a former porn star, porn actress.
Oh yeah,
Stormy
we did
Daniels.
talk about that. Yeah.
She said that it was claimed that Trump had an affair with her. She writes a letter saying it wasn't true. Well, now she's gone back, and now she's claiming it did happen.
Yeah, I'm not believing that at all. I mean, why did you deny it in the first place if you're just going to go back?
Exactly.
Is she going to get Gloria Allred too? Trot her out there.
Don't be surprised.
One of my liberal friends, who I've not seen in 10 or 12 years. He's a musician and he was always out there and liberal, whatever. He posted that thing with the documents and stuff today. And his comment on it was, whoa. And so I, trying to start a fight, I said, whoa, what? And he said, that's what I said. And I said, no. I mean, why are you saying whoa? It's just another scam to try and disreputate, or whatever word I need to use there, Donald Trump. And I haven't heard back yet.
Well, I got some
I
big
tried to
news.
start the fight though.
I got some big news that came in through the Daily Caller, and this is has to do with fake news, CNN again. And I'm going to read the article in its entirety because it's just unbelievable. CNN, the title: CNN's jaw is on the floor, asking Democrats in Ohio what they think of Trump. CNN conducted a roundtable interview with Democrats from Ohio, all of whom crossed party lines to vote for Donald Trump in 2016. The questions from the CNN reporter focus on the voters' opinion of President Trump's first year in office. The response from the diverse range of voters left the interviewers' jaw on the floor. By and large, the Democrats praised Trump. Record on the economy and immigration. Here are some of the sound bites from the Democrats on Trump. And these are actual quotes. It's got to the point I did not like where my country was going. He is staying on task. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Better than I have ever would have dreamt. He's staying on task. I know what he's done. I love this guy. I love the job he's doing. Industries are booming. He is tenacious. And he says stuff off the cuff like we do. I want my country back. The panel also blamed the media for attacking Trump. And nobody on that panel thought he was racist. There was a black guy on that panel. There was it looks to be a Hispanic or a black woman on that panel. White woman, white guy. So and let me continue up. A minority student on the panel says she met Trump and he is just the nicest person. Continuing, if he was racist, as everyone paints him out to be, he could have just walked right past me and not say a word. Boom. Boom. Trump is going to get reelected in 2020. Mainstream media dead. This is 100% proof that the mainstream media has zero control over people anymore. Zero control. Now there is a minority of brainwashed idiots, but apparently these are not brainwashed Democrats. They have zero control. I just love seeing this. I love seeing stuff like this. This is great. I mean, we are winning all fronts. All fronts right now. We are winning, and people. We are winning with the people. We are winning with Democrats. Zero influence in the media that is not particularly brainwashed by the media. I mean, I'm excited right now. This is just
Democrats slowly but surely, since the last couple of years of Obama, have been moving more toward conservative.
Yeah.
And they may not say so, and they may not be loud, but a lot through Obama started to really see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Trump got elected. And it's how he's going to get reelected, because more Democrats are starting to see it and realize it. And the statistics show that very few Republicans ever change to Democrat. A lot more Democrats change to Republican.
And I'm glad you brought that up, that more people is not buying into the mainstream media, because Breitbart actually posted an article, I think a few days ago. And let me up. And it's a really surprising article. I think it was about people is not believing the mainstream media anymore about the whole tax cut. Right here we go. Poll shows public waking up to media lies about GOP tax plan. And I'll read this article real quick. But yeah, that is an amazing article from them. I love that. I love that so much.
What I was going to say is that I'm surprised CNN did not try and selectively edit.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that too. I think it'd be kind of difficult to selectively edit that, because if they were praising him that much, then they couldn't have. Now I'm sure they probably try to bait questions in that panel, try to race bait, trying to sexist bait and all that. But so yeah, the article states that public is waking up about the media lies about GOP tax plan. Now, a little thing called economic reality has overtaken months of dishonest media reporting about the Republican tax bill signed into law by President Trump last month. A plurality of 47% supported the bill, while 34% remained opposed. This is a huge and predictable turnaround when compared to the polls released in the heart of the media campaign to kill the tax bill. In early December, Gallup showed 29%, as did Quinnipiac. Less than a month ago, CNN reported claiming that so excited now. Less than a month ago, the left-wing cable news network CNN released a poll that showed support for the bill catering with from 45% to 55%. Only 1/3 of Americans were in favor of the tax cut. So basically, what it's basically saying is that they're waking up. They're getting more money in their pocket now. They realizing that the media is lying. I mean, this is just great on all fronts. I mean, it's proving that the media is dishonest. It's proving that the media has no control anymore. It's proving that people is not as asleep as we thought they are to be, and they're waking up. They're waking up to the dishonest fact that President Trump is doing a tremendous job, a epic job, and
yes, he is.
He's going to get like what you're saying, Shane, because you're breaking up.
It's Oprah. Oprah realizes she's in trouble for 2020.
That must be it.
I don't think she'll run.
No, I don't think so either.
She might, and prove me wrong, but I just don't think she'll run.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the hell would she? She's got as much money as God. She could go and sit back at one of her houses with all of them dogs and just eat biscuits and gravy and travel the world or whatever the hell she wants to do till she dies and never run out of money.
Yep. Absolutely. One last thing that came in is that 65 lawmakers, GOP lawmakers, sent a formal request to #release the memo. So 65 people are on board of releasing the memo.
Yep.
Good. Count me 65. Although I'm not a lawmaker.
Let's see here. Let me read the names. Brian Babin from Texas, Don Bacon from Nevada, I think, Jim Banks, Jack Berman, Rod Bloom, Dave Bratt, Larry Buckshon, Ted Budd, Michael Burgess, Bradley Brine, Steve Chabot, Warren Davison, Ronnie Davis, Scott Harf, Jeff Duncan, Blake Fahrenhold, Thomas Garrett, Bob Gibbs, Louis Gomet, Paul Gosard, Morgan Griffith, Brett Guthrie, Andy Harris, Jody Heiss, Trey Hollingsworth, Richard Hudson, Randy Holtgreen, Daryl Isaac, Bill Johnson, Jim Jordan, David Joyce, Mike Kelly, Steve Keene, Raul R. Labrador, Doug Lambert, Robert E. Lato, Barry Loudermilk, Tom McClintock. What's with these names? Mark Meadow, Luke Messer, Alex Mooney, Dan Newhouse, Ralph Norman, Steve Palazzo, Gary Palmer, Scott Perry, Ted Poe, Jim Rincinti, Phil Rowe, Dana Roebaker, Francis Rooney, Mark Stanford, James Senzabranzer, Claudia Tenney, Mimi Walters, Randy Weber, Bruce Westman, Roger Williams, Ted Yoho, and Lee Zeldin. That's the 65 names.
That's easy for you to say.
And then you got, not only you got these GOP lawmakers, you got like a majority of the Trump base saying release the memo. So you got like a shit ton of people saying release the memo.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I think that's pretty much it. I think we've discussed. I think we got all the. We also had a couple of breaking news at the end. But I think we had a good show. We had a good show tonight. And then so it's going to be so this week was pretty hectic. It was pretty wild. Next week, God only knows what's going to happen. I think we're going to be in for a tremendous year. I think the memo. My prediction is that the memos will be released. I say between now and March. That's Shane Stradamus. Shane Stradamus is saying that the memos is going to be released between now and March.
I hope so.
And so I think that's going to do it for us this week. Tune in next week on the 26th for another Not Mainstream. And it's going to, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. But we do know that the X-Files is going to happen this Wednesday. So me and Henry is going to be doing the X-Cast live right after the X-Files. The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat, episode 4, and we're going to, and it's going to be a Sasquatch related episode. Mulder is going to hunt for Sasquatch, and so we're going to take a look at some Bigfoot videos as well during the live streaming of the X-Cast. But yeah, next week, another Not Mainstream, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Videos.
What was that?
I want to see the Bigfoot stuff.
Yeah, you're welcome to join us.
When you get through with the X-Files, start the Bigfoot, send me a link.
All right, I'll let you know. And I was supposed to do an interview with Mike Zello, but scheduling conflicts. So we're going to schedule. So me and him is going to work around the schedule and do it sometime later.
Cool. Oh, I have one thing to add.
Go ahead.
do you all know of Ryan Reading?
Mm-hmm.
He's written a book.
What?
Ryan Reading.
Ryan Reading has written a book, and with Melissa George. And I am proofreading. I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Henry.
You're breaking out. Oprah's after you. Vengeance.
Must be.
I'm halfway through the book, a little over halfway, and it's very good to me. It's very well written. It's written in the form of a like field journal. It has every day what the date, the temperature, the so and so, the blah blah blah, and what happened that day.
That's neat.
And it it has pictures of structures and all sorts of different things too. And like I say, I'm a little over halfway, and I know Ryan, and I have talked to him a lot, and I experienced some of the things that are talked about in the book. I watched live. He'd go in the woods and go live.
Yeah, on his Facebook.
And yeah, and there's one instance where he lost time. He got zapped, I assume, but he lost time. And I was watching that live, and it was really odd. And the other of us watching were like, Ryan, are you okay? What happened? Where'd you go? Whatever. And after a while, he popped back up and said, oh my God, I called 911. My GPS isn't working. He was like out of his head for a few minutes.
Hmm.
And I saw that live. It's in the book. And anyway, Ryan's a good fella. You can agree or disagree with him, whatever, but he tries to get good information and share it. And when the book comes out, it's called the Bigfoot Report by Ryan Reed. And
yeah, but didn't he put out a photograph that was of a skeeter and say it was a Bigfoot?
I didn't understand a word you said, Henry.
He's talking about the oh, go ahead.
He was breaking up.
Not bad. Oh, and speaking of Oprah, Lucas said Nopra. But Henry was talking about the skier Bigfoot photo that Ryan posted out, and it was a skier, and that one.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
a lot about that, and they he and his friend declare that it was not a skier, and it was the way the sun was shining made the top, because the creature, I've seen the picture 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
The creature was in the edge of the woods, and then there was just snow all the way off to the left, and the way the light was shining on the creature's back made the fur look, or the hair look red. It was not a skier, and there's no skis or ski poles visible in the picture. But yes, that picture was picked at. That was one of his first pictures that he ever put out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think we had Ryan on the. It was either NewsHour or Real or Not Real. I don't. He's not a bad guy. I don't think he would intentionally hoax.
No, no, he wouldn't. He's a good guy, and he's trying to. And there's so much more to him that people don't know unless you have spent time talking and know him a little more personally.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other aspects in his life that contribute to this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not lying. And he's with this book, everything's very well documented. Like I say, it's like reading a field journal.
Yeah. Well, he got a lot of flack for that photograph.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm a little over halfway through, and pieces and parts of it I already knew. And as the date gets closer to now, there's more and more in it that I know, or watched, or But anyway, when it comes out, get it. Melissa George is helping him to publish it, and I think maybe she did the graphics for the cover. Melissa George is a great author. To everybody, order her books, and I'm done. Enjoyed it.
Sounds good. All right, so do a little recap. Wednesday night, if you're a fan of the X-Files, we'll be discussing the new episode of the X-Files right after the X-Files. We go live right after the X-Files. It might be 5 or 10 minutes late, but we still go live right after the X-Files. And then it's going to be on the other channel, Breaking Bad Cast. It's in the description below, so take a look for that. And then next week on the 26th is going to be another Not Mainstream. We're going to be live at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time, 5 if you're in Commie, Florida, or as they like to call it, California. And I think that's going to do it for you tonight. Good night, everybody. God bless America, and God bless President Donald J. Trump.